And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. While it's cool out there, I'll tell you what, it's even cooler in here.
Yeah.
Tashina is here with us, Tashina Vaughn, who is a Metropolitan Opera singer. And this says Porgy and Best Audition. So we're looking forward to it. Tashina, welcome to Belize.
Thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah, day 2, and you can say
Day
that
already. Yeah. What's not to love?
Yes. So what are your thoughts? How do you feel? You're in a new country.
It
A
is.
Caribbean, Central American country. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I love the Caribbean. I mean, I've been to other Caribbean countries,
Yeah.
and I know a number of Caribbean people, and you know, so it's a little bit of home. Actually, driving in from the airport, I said to Karen that it actually reminds me a little bit of part of North Carolina. It has this same sort of lush greenness, and we don't have the Caribbean Sea, but we have the Atlantic Ocean. but I love it so far. We had some lovely food yesterday. The people are so nice, and you know, sitting at my hotel just watching the water.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So Tashina, it's very interesting. We got a preview that you were coming.
Okay.
Because last week we had the Austrian musician with us, Peter. And he was actually the one who recruited you to come down here.
Exactly.
Tell me about this, and what were your thoughts when you said Belize?
Well, actually, I was speaking with Peter Iofsky, who is the founder, I guess, and organizer of the Belize Academy of Performing Arts.
Yeah.
That is in gestation at the moment.
Yeah.
And I called him because I have my next performing job is in Vienna, and I knew he was there, and I was looking for an apartment. And while we were having this conversation, we were catching up. What's new in your life? What's new? And he said, "Well, I've got this." Belize, have you ever been to Belize? It's amazing, and the talent, and the people, and the music, and everything, and that he was forming this Belize Academy of Performing Arts, and if I would be interested in participating in that.
Yeah.
And then that led to, because I'm performing at the moment in New York, the opera Porgy and Bess, which is by George Gershwin, and really just this sweeping masterpiece of emotional, I can tell you, theatrical experience. He then had the idea of, how about a Porgy and Bess in Belize?
Wow.
And I thought, well, is there, first of all, an operatic tradition there, any kind of, you know, but there is a musical theater tradition. You do have a theater, and you do music, so hey, we're looking forward to, trying to bring this project, get it on its feet.
Yeah, you know, that's, and I gotta say, clearly you have the very similar passion that he has when we spoke to him.
Oh, yeah.
About being able to allow for people to grow in the talents that they do possess. So in doing your homework about, and especially vocalists, because that's what you're going to be looking for.
Yes.
In doing your research and kind of what you've found out since you've gotten here, what are your thoughts in terms of being able to put this production together?
Well, it's imminently possible, for sure. And I think that people should, first of all, not judge themselves. Because what I always say is that everybody can sing. Everybody with a mouth and tongue
But
and
not
breath. That can be taught.
Okay.
That's why we learn, you know. But the fact of the matter is, like, you have feet, you can walk.
Okay.
You know, you have vocal cords, you can sing. It's just a matter of learning the correct coordination of the muscles and the breath and the resonators to produce the sound that you want.
So we're talking also about an audition coming up, which brings me to ask you, at what point in your life you decided, this is what I want to do?
Yeah.
I was about 6 years old.
Did you know opera immediately, though?
No, the opera wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Just sing.
So where did you start? How did that start?
Well, I wanted to sing, I sang in church, obviously in the choir, ever since I was a little girl, and when I was about 15, my mother moved to Atlanta, Georgia for her job, and there was a performing arts high school, and one of her colleagues had their children in this school, and I guess they spoke about it at work. Yeah. And one day she said, "Come, we're going over. You're going to go sing this song for this man." And the next thing I know, I was in performing arts high school.
Cool.
And even at that, though, there was mostly Broadway, and I was on the way to being the next Aretha Franklin. That was my goal. I want to be Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the high school, the man who ran it, his name is William Dinsmore, said to me, "I think you're an opera singer." They could, hear it in the sound. You need good ears. You need someone who, points this out. So William Dinsmore pointed out that he thought my voice was an operatic voice and helped me get into university. And
but what was your reaction though? You're thinking of being the next Aretha.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
someone comes and says,
I wasn't really into it. I wasn't really into it. As a matter of fact, I eventually did not continue. I got a scholarship to Georgia State University where I started studying classical music. But a lot of these things where you have a private teacher, that relationship is very important, and what you get from that private teacher will influence how you go on. And I didn't have the right teacher at that time, so I quit. I didn't like the opera world anymore. I didn't understand what she was trying to do, so I went back to musical theater for about half a year.
Okay.
And then I discovered another school and another teacher, and he was the perfect. He really made me understand what it was we were after, the difference between singing popular music or classical music, and how to get all the skills and make a choice, as opposed to being limited, because if you don't have any technical background in your singing life, you are quite limited because you can only do certain things.
Yeah.
But if you learn to use it's just like driving a car. If you learn all about the car, you can use it in all kinds of ways. Drive it fast, drive it slow, drive it in snow, drive it in rain, drive it in sun, Just like with the voice, if you learn how to use it, then you can drive it in all kinds of conditions.
Excellent.
So I'm sure over the course of your career, you've really had to explain to people just the significance of being an opera singer.
Yes.
It requires enormous talent and a lot of training and discipline.
Yeah, more training than talent.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
training than talent. It really is.
So, as you said very early on when it was suggested to you that you were going to be suited for opera, you were kind of apprehensive about it because it isn't as mainstream as what we're accustomed to hearing.
Obviously, it's not part of my culture. I didn't grow up in an operatic household hearing classical music every day. So it was a foreign element to me. But what I've come to understand is that opera is the grandest of all the musical.
Really?
Oh yes, because even in a musical piece, you may have a band, 4 or 5 piece band, some dancers, some singers on stage. But in opera, you've got a 40 to 60 piece orchestra in the pit making this powerful sound.
Yeah.
You've got these costumes and sets that are. I work in the theater in New York that seats 4,000 people.
Whoa.
It's huge. 4,000 people can view each one of these performances.
Yeah.
And there's a backstage area that's like football field long, and so it combines, and there is dance, there is singing, there is music, instrumental playing. So it's the grandest because it combines all the elements of theater that are possible to come together. Now we even do video backdrops, and then you have the sets and the costumes, and so I did eventually fall in love with it.
Wow.
And I really do believe it is this, and I was asking last night, people, have you ever been to an opera? Because it is a different experience.
So what was that turning point for you?
I guess when I did finally see my first opera, and I realized I was really transported by this experience. I wasn't just sitting there hearing something nice and but it was really doing something in me. It's a very, I find, and Porgy and Bess, this opera is I always say Porgy and Bess changes lives. It is a transformative experience to be.
What is Porgy and Bess?
Well, it is a universal story of love and loss. It is of a community. It is actually the story, a slice of life about the community Catfish Row in South Carolina, and it was based on an actual area. And it is the story of what happens in the lives of this community, Catfish Row, and how it affects all the members of the community and all the members of the area. And individually, the story of Porgy and Bess is a love story that's, I won't, don't want to give it spoiler.
No spoilers.
But it's a tragic.
But there's going to be love, there's going to be tragedy.
Yeah, and there's going to be
triumph.
entertainment, and there's triumph, and there's dance, and there's, there's all kinds of elements there's something for everyone there.
So the auditions, you're not just looking for people who are going to sing opera, you're looking for the full group.
I'm looking for the full group. I think that we also need children, we need, actors, We need people. There will also be people who we call them supernumeraries. They don't necessarily have to sing or dance, but I might need them to carry something from one side of the stage to the other. You know? So yes, I think that, you know, if you have any interest in theater, any interest in music, any interest in dance, we'd really like to see you today. Yeah.
But you know, one of the
we love
things,
theater,
Yeah.
but we just don't get the opportunity to do it as
and
often.
I was about to go there.
And the challenge is the practice time. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
most people
yeah.
have a full-time job,
Yes.
and how do you commit to something? Because it takes an immense amount of commitment to
Right.
follow through.
Well, I think you have to think of these sorts of projects like Olympians. You know, Olympians train all the time for something that happens once every 4 years for what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not quite that extreme, but an operatic production is very similar to an Olympic event like that.
Yeah.
So if I, for example, the piece that I'll be doing the next in Vienna is actually in Russian. It's by a composer called Prokofiev, and I will have to sing it in Russian.
Wow.
So I've been learning it for a year. I've already, like, you know, months ago translated online, you know,
Yeah.
with a Russian dictionary. And first of all, you know, Russian is one of those languages that it doesn't use these letters.
Not at
you
all.
first got to get from their letters
And very
to
different
these
sounds.
letters,
Yeah.
and then translate what does that mean in English, you know. But so my point of being that there's a whole bunch of, let's say, very fine tuning that goes into the preparation of the preparation, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that by the time I arrive in Vienna, we will have, I think, a 4-week rehearsal period. So I'm at that place where I just need. Then everybody's putting their various elements together. It's not we're learning it in those weeks.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, so an Olympian, for example, he starts learning stretches. Let's say he wants to be a swimmer. You know, he starts learning stretches and the breathing and the proper strokes and stuff. Years
Way
before,
yeah.
way before, so that in the 4 weeks that he has there, he's able to show. But there's a period of intense training just before the actual event. And that's what we will have, about 3 weeks of intense rehearsals before the actual event to put all the elements together. But there will be training happening. For example, we hope that the children and the chorus, they will be learning their music prior to that pre-Olympic training, and then we will have the Olympic event of the production.
Cool.
I love your excitement about it.
I am. I love my job. I do.
You're also doing vocal training as well, right?
Well, this is what I hope to be able to bring as a component to the Belize Academy of Performing Arts. I was just speaking to one of the directors of it about, I like to call them intensives, so that people can get a chance to be exposed to what is being offered and see if it's really for them.
Yeah.
You do something called intensives, which also lasts maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and you can sign up for this and you get a chance to you commit yourself to 3 weeks of really intensive being there.
Yeah.
So you have in the morning some sort of stretching and introduction to, because singing is also a very physical thing. You know, you don't have a keyboard or things. You have just your body.
Yeah.
So you learn to use your body as an instrument. First of all, you wake it up, and then in the course of the day, you might have some group singing courses, and then you would have individual lessons, and this would go on for 2 or 3 weeks in this summer intensive, so to speak. And then at the end, you would have a presentation, whether it just be a cohesive scene from an opera, or different arias, different selections that each one could do, so that then people would have an opportunity to see, is this for me? You know, is this something I can really get into? And in that way, you build the academy and the training opportunities.
Excellent.
The training is going to be specifically for opera singing or just singing in general?
Singing in general. Singing in general, yeah. I mean, a singing technique can be used in any kind of way, but you need a technique so you don't hurt yourself.
And when are
Tashina,
the-
you know everybody wants to hear you sing right now. And I know what singers always tell me when they come here. It's too early for their voice.
You know, I actually, in the shower, I was saying to Michelle, I actually was in the shower and thought, can I? No.
But we do have a video clip because I think it's so critical that people see
great, that's
the
good.
power of your voice, and that's really it's so captivating.
Thank you.
So if we can get a clip lined up so we can be able to air it so people
let's do
can
that. Let's
see
do that.
Okay,
for
fantastic.
themselves.
Fantastic.
I was prepared. We were prepared prepared for that. That
No, really. I was
response.
in the shower like about 6:45 going, no.
Oh, here we go.
here we
Here we
go.
go.
Und wenn das Herz erquischt, ewig verlorenes Lied, ewig verlorenes Lied, ich grolle nicht, ich grolle nicht, wie du strahlst in Diamantenpracht, es fällt ein Strahl in deinen Herzensnacht, das weiß ich längst, das weiß ich längst, das weiß ich längst.
And we're back just like that. So
Amazing.
we heard you. You asked the question, are they seeing me? Yes, we saw you.
But not here.
No, yes, we saw you. You're phenomenal.
Thank you.
You told a story and the posture to your body and what you're singing and how you're doing it. It
Yes.
says a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long ago was that performance?
That was actually in Graz, Austria. Wow, maybe 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, quite some time now. Yeah.
Tishina, that power. I mean, is that something that you just naturally possess, or something you've learned to harness? with
Well,
your
you learn to
training?
harness. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that there is a clue about it. You know, in your life, people when because my cousin said I was always loud when she used to babysit me. It was always loud. So I think maybe there is something about it already that's there, but it really is learned and learned to use the instrument.
So we're looking forward to the auditions, and we definitely want to get the date. But one of the things about our country is that, like Marlene mentioned, we have zero exposure to
Yeah.
opera. But this is actually a profession. This is
Oh
a way
yes,
of life.
it is a career.
This is your career.
I'm 30 years in this career.
30 years in
Yeah.
this career. This
Yeah,
is how
yeah,
you
yeah.
make your living.
Every day.
When are the auditions, and tell us about it.
So the auditions will begin today at 3 o'clock. We're asking that you come early if you plan to be there at 2:30. We're going to have the sign-up sheet out for you to sign up. We will hang around until 7, just
Yeah.
in case people have to work and come later. We ask that you contact the Bliss Theater if you're planning to come later. And we're going to take the last entry at 6, so we don't be there too late. But we'll be at the Bliss Theater from 3 to 7 today. Auditions for the production of Porgy and Bess in Belize.
And it's a musical theater, so you're looking for dancers, you're looking
Yes.
for singers,
Yes.
you're looking for stage hands, you're looking
Exactly.
for the full
The
production.
full Molly.
What's the level of expertise someone has to have to audition? Can I just say, hey, I
You
want to
can
try.
just
Put
show
me where
up.
you can.
Just show up. We don't need any expertise. This is something to get all of us to get our feet wet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're going to train some Belizean opera singers?
I'm gonna train them.
Yeah.
Yes. There are. You'd be surprised that I have a very wonderful colleague from Trinidad. So opera singers are from all over the world. Don't
Wow.
think that Belize can't have their superstars.
We could have
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm sure that 6-year-old never saw herself in Europe singing Italian or in
You are
Russia
so
singing
right.
Russian.
I say that often.
Yeah.
That's what you call the grace of God.
Yeah.
And when does it roll out of Porgy and Bess in Belize?
June. In June.
Oh, you are
Yes.
on a tight deadline.
Yeah. Hey.
But it seems
in
like
for a
you're
penny,
up.
in for a pound, right?
Tishina, this is great. The
Yes.
auditions, it's today.
Today.
Just
yes.
one day only.
Just one day today. We'll see what kind of turnout we get today. If it's overwhelming, then we'll have to extend.
I love it. We can't wait to find out more. This is your opportunity. If you wanted to be a part of musical theater, they're going to be doing the training in addition to getting everybody ready for the production. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you
you.
so much for having me. Such a pleasure to meet you both.
And enjoy your time in Belize.
I will.
And, I'm sure we'll see you back before the actual production day.
Yes,
I hope so.
we will.
I really hope so.
And you'll show us what you taught John to sing.
Yes, that voice now.
Yeah,
I'll be
right?
looking for you this evening.
You want to try? You want to try?
Okay, come
No.
on.
We will take that break, and when we come back, it's for the rapper.
I love it!
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
With
And we're back. I thought you were going to sing us back from that one, too.
I missed that cue.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful time this morning. I think it's because it's a little chilly out. Whenever it's chilly, we shine, literally. But that's the way it is. We want to say a big thank you, though, to you there at home, firstly, for always being with us in the morning time. We had some wonderful conversations this morning. We kicked things off with the Equal Opportunity Draft Bill.
Yeah.
We know how important that is, and they continue to roll that out, being in different municipalities throughout the country. Listen to it. It's online as well, and you could actually read it for yourself and see how you feel about it.
Yes, and we want to thank the representatives from the Customs Department as they get ready, or they continue to celebrate World Customs Day on Friday here in Belize City at the Civic Center in the parking lot. They're going to be having an informational fair. You can go on out and find out more about how they put together, how they do the work that they do, the other agencies that they work along with, and just get a better understanding.
Definitely. And finally, a big, big, big thank you to Tashina Vaughn, Metropolitan Opera singer. They're looking for actors, they're looking for dancers, they're looking for opera singers, or at least audition for this Spurgy and Best that they're trying to get together for June this year, right here in Belize. The audition's actually later on this evening.
3 o'clock
PM
this
too.
evening, right? Take advantage of it. 3 to 7. Just go on out. They're looking for dancers, singers. They need children. just, be a part of something unique
Yeah,
in the country.
try.
And actually, we're starting a poll. How many of you want to see John
my
go out and audition? I mean, if you're going to show off those kind of singing skills, then you can definitely get on stage. And you can participate in this poll any way you want. You tell us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ. You send us a message on Instagram at OYEBelize. And, I think that there's always...
I
always
love her.
happy.
One of my biggest influencers, this lady right here.
Hey,
But,
live your life. We do want to say, of course, speaking of our social media people, we're so happy for them. They tune in every morning, sharing on their conversations. This morning we had Lourdes from Texas. We had Anna from Orange Walk, with people from Cayo and from San Pedro tuning in. And that's just those who said where they're from. Thank you for tuning in from all over. And remember, tune in tomorrow morning.
When you open your
At
eyes.
6:30.
Yeah, oh my God.
When you open your eyes.
Just start your morning right, man.
Until then.
Yeah, keep your hearts, your mind.
Your eyes. You are so nervous about your audition already. You're
putting me on the spot, and you continue to put me on the spot. But we've got to go as per usual. Keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.